I'm back, man. This is the second part to the first video of the dark side of the sexual kings, and we're going through all the stories of all the porn stars who rise and fall, and showing the dark side of getting all the women you want, and seeing that even if you are a man who does get all the women, if you if you do anything or you lose one or two things that are appealing to women, they will drop you. And it also showcases that pretty much if you walk around thinking you're better than anybody else, you're gonna fall victim to the downfalls, just like these guys. So here we go, another story about another porn star. His name is Prince Yasha, and he 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 broke his penis 2 times. And back in the day, I didn't do no video of it or nothing like that, but I kind of how ridiculous this dude was when he asked his fans to help him fix his penis again. And he's another 50-year-old porn star who's still doing porn, still living a life. He's still living a life of a porn star. He doesn't have a stable relationship with any female, and he's pretty much living the opposite side of a thought. So pretty much he asked for, because I remember this back in the day, he asked for 30 grand for a surgery to fix his broken penis. And if you want to know who the one that broke his penis, I will give you that information too, the context of this information as well, because I know the porn star who talked about it. It's a Vlad interview of the porn star who was with him when he was doing too much on the porn star. So basically, this dude begged his fans instead of begging his female fans to do it. So he pretty much tried to sun a lot of guys. Originally from Chicago too. He tried to sun a lot of guys into saying, if you want me to work again and show me having sex with hot women, you will help me fix my penis. He isn't the only one who asks for donations and money to his fans, but I'm like, wait a minute, you're this guy who's built, and this is the dark side of this so-called this this is the dark side of the shit that they only talk about with self-improvement. He has to maintain his body size. He has to maintain all this shit to keep himself good looking for females. In turn, he has to live a lifestyle where he has to be seen. He's kind of like I said, he has the energy of a female. He has to be seen, even though he's like 50 years old. But at the time, he was in his I think he was in his 40s or just 30s back then. They burned through a lot of money. So this shows you the dark side of these guys. They have to maintain this sort of bravado just to keep themselves maintenance for women, so they can be seen by women and be lusted by women and get the women they want. But they are trying to get the beta bucks when they need it, when something bad happens to them. Now let's go to another one. Now, this is a performer back in the day. This is way before my time. He spreaded all types of let's see, I forgot. He performed in over 1,700 porno films, and he pretty much spread HIV to different performers, and he had it for 2 years without telling anybody. He's another one who pretty much didn't want to he didn't want to sell his status because he didn't want to lose the money, but he also didn't want to be in the normal society, because in normal society his penis and his sexual energy, his high sexual, value doesn't turn into money outside of porn. So he needed to stay in porn to feel that high and to feel the fame and the lust of women. So he put a lot of people in danger, and he probably gave a lot more women HIV, because after he got it from somebody, probably somebody dirty, and he was unprotected, he wanted to wreck as many people's life as possible. I don't think he's in jail, and pretty much he was another victim of being told that he is the king. This is why this title, The Dark Side of the Sexual Kings, because by women's standard, these guys are high value. They got muscles, they're big down there, and they have all this charisma and charisma. But what happens after these guys become tainted? After these guys get old? After a lot of different things happen to them? The women who used to love them are never around. Or the women who do love them becomes their victims in the spread of their sexual consequences. Like this guy. Now, this is oops. Oh shit. I might have to make this video over again. Hopefully they don't put this down. But you had all these different porn stars who was blacklisted. And if you look at the list, Mr. Marcus. Anyone who watched porn back then in black porn know Mr. Marcus. He's another one who he was a sexual king. But 9 times out of 10, let's see, he was a sexual king, but pretty much he needed porn world. He needed to stay in his sexual king position. So he lied on a STD test, put it false, and put another porn star's life in jeopardy, and pretty much they threw him to the side and said, "You're never working here again." There's women who do like him, but he's not doing as well as he did with other women. He's getting to low tier, ugly, unattractive women around him, and he's probably selling sex to women who grew up on him, but he would never be able to get the new and improved women that porn provided to him. You got Brian Pumper, who did the same thing. He faked the test to stay into the porn industry, and then after the porn industry, he pretty much a zombie. I mean, he walks around LA with the fake chains and trying to, reinvent his porn career by putting eggs on women's head and sleeping with dudes' wives and paying women and acting like it's so-called like he really got all his game or whatever. Like I said in my other video, how game is a gimmick. This dude right here personifies that. He's walking around being a fake Lloyd Banks. He's muscular, and that shows the also flaw in the whole self-improvement bullshit too, because this guy walking around, he's a fool. And women say how much of a weirdo he is, even though they have sex with him, but after that they regret it. They just too stupid to be smart enough not to see how much of a weirdo he is. So I'm trying to find it. Shit. So there's another porn star who got um in a Me Too, but it was right after. It was right after. His name is Mo Johnson. It's right after him saying that the porn industry is racist, so he can get back in it because he wasn't functioning like he's supposed to. He had erectile dysfunction from all the women he had sex with, and he's an alcoholic, and he's on drugs. And I told you, I explained that in the first video of how they just can't try to keep high. They trying to keep going up a higher level in their mind and their brain. You know, when you get high off something, you want to up the ante and up the doses. This is why a lot of people OD, and this is the mental OD with some of these guys. They want to continue to keep getting high off of the sexual needs of women, but also they do dirt. His girlfriend at the time, he pretty much raped her and beat her. And there's other women who can account that they seen her beat up at the time when they were together. So you telling me that this guy's packing? He's the sexual king, and he has to beat a female? That's why I told you this is why I told you in the first video, man. They really have really deep-sided issues when they're finally realizing that, you know, where their position really is. Once they come down from that high and they realize what women really think of them and how women really view them, they get mad and they beat up the girl, and they try to get that power back that they had before. So this is why they maintain porn, and they try to stick to it as much as possible. This is why they use the race card. This is why they use a race card. This is why they have to keep themselves. They have to lie. They have to cheat. They have to steal. And they have to do all these unnecessary things because they really don't like to compete. They don't want to compete. They think that just because they got one thing or two things that they supposed to be dominant over everything in society. And they're not. So when they don't get what they want, you see their real side inside of them. You see the real person they have inside of them. And it came out after this whole thing that he talked about racism, and people came, and his female came out and told on him about how he hit her and raped her and all this other stuff. So, and here we go, another porn star who is not. He is pretty much got thrown out in the trash. I don't know, I forgot what year it was, but he got into a motorcycle accident. And when he got into a motorcycle accident, he pretty much got a bulge or some kind of like really. It was an unsightly deformity on his neck that he got. But for that, even though he was, he's Mr. Big down there, that is still unsightly. No porn studio wanted to hire him. His own studio went under because nobody wanted to shoot with him because they didn't like his deformity. So he went on GoFundMe to ask for money, and I don't think it worked out because nobody felt sorry for him because, hey, he was born bigger than everybody else, so people didn't feel sympathy for him like that. And I think he didn't get the help that he wants, so he did shoot porn. I think he still do, but he doesn't get as much work he's due as he used to. He's not a big thing anymore. You don't see him in the updated porn series and agendas that they push out, and the little I forgot to say, like the little series that they put out for black and white women. He was the front runner of that. back in like 90s and I think the 80s or whatever. 90s, I think a little bit of the 80s, a little bit of the 90s, and the early 2000s. But when he got into this car accident, they pretty much threw him away, just like they did Lexington Steele, Mr. Marcus, Brian Pumper, all these other people, man. I mean, this shows really how they are just as disposable as the men they look down on. But the fact is, the men that they look down on and the women who adore them don't understand that some of these guys who ain't born big like that, they have to do different things in order to survive, because they might not get the sexual satisfaction these guys get, but at least that if something happens to them, they can fall back on something else other than them just being big. Because Jack Neighbor, when you see how he is, he's a goofy dude, and he's kind of like really annoying, and the only thing that the women really wanted for him is his gimmick, which was his big penis. So after that was done, they threw him in the trash. So we got another guy who beat women, and he's in jail for it right now. He beat his wife, he beat his ex-girlfriend, and he tried to, as you see, the human trafficking thing. And this guy was lusted after by so many women, and it's kind of like, as you see, it's a pattern. This is not me sitting here mad because I don't get the women. This is me showing you the facts on the men who do get the women and how they act. And this is the definite side that a lot of people need to look at. You need to stop going up to these guys who don't have any proof that they are players and they get the women they want. You need to look at people who do get the women they want and see how their life turn out outside of that. Like these guys. These are the guys you should be looking at and pretty much asking certain things and certain questions about. Because this is what the PUAs and the dating coaches and them guys who create books and talk about game don't tell you about. It gives you an ego. You walk around thinking you Mr. God, and you walk around thinking that you dominate anybody and you can do anything you want. But society and overall the laws smack you down. No matter how good you look, no matter how big your penis is, you still can fall down. And that's what every human and every man should learn. No matter how much game you got, you could run the game. You could run game on the wrong girl, and that could be the end of you, and you can go to jail for it. Like the person like Rico Strong did. And I'm gonna get to him later on in this video, but I'm trying to get through this real quick. These guys really thought that they can do anything they want, and they all fell. None of them was able to capitalize on the fact that they had a gift, or women said they're blessed, but it seemed to me that they don't know how to walk around with the gift. So another guy, he's a woman beater. He beat his girlfriend. Who name was let me find her. He's trying to find her. Pretty much he beat her. He beat her ass. He beat her so bad that I think she lost tooth or whatever. But pretty much he he beat women, and he's the exception of the rule, because that's why I wanted to get to him. He the exception of the rule because he beat women. He beat his girlfriend, but she wasn't that liked. She wasn't that liked because no, she wasn't popular because she turned on the industry, and people forgave him because she wasn't really popular. So he got another turnaround, but he can't do what he did before. This is one instance that he was able to come back. But hey, this guy right here, his name is Rob Piper or whatever, and he's a porn star, and you kind of ask yourself, why would he beat somebody who's smaller than him? If you ever see him on Instagram, or you ever see him in the videos or whatever, you're like, what the hell? This dude is too big to be beating on women. But as I said before in the past, I'm not gonna keep repeating it, that that it's not all suns and rainbows with these guys. Legendary porn star Ron Jeremy, the guy who was a goofball, who got all of the girls back then, and he bragged about his size and everything else, is in the wheelchair. He looks old. He doesn't have as much support that he used to have from the industry. Women turned on him in the industry because he got too cozy with the newer porn stars, and he didn't understand whatever he was in. So he got Me Too'd by multiple women. They kicked him out of the AVN Awards, and without him being in the industry, and without him getting that high from, as I said, all these guys get the high from being lusted after and being some kind of, status symbol for certain men who look like him. He's in a wheelchair. He looks awful. A few years ago, when he was able to be able to participate in the porn industry, he was old. But he was able to still be in videos because he was the legendary Ron Jeremy. He even had sex with some of these chicks at his old age, because they let him they let him be a part of it because he's the legendary Ron Jeremy. But after the Me Too case and everything else that happened to him, he got kicked out. And when he got kicked out, as you see, he lost a lot of his he lost a lot of his claim to life, because his claim to life was always porn, and without porn it seemed like he's just growing older and older and older. And I don't feel sorry for the guy, man. He had sex with more women than than could fit in a nightclub. So I'm not feeling sorry for this dude at all. But this is what happened. They don't plan for the future. They live in now. And they think they like I said before, they think they're better than they are, and when it doesn't work out, this is the end result. So here we go, another guy, legendary dude Nacho. If anybody who know Nacho, he's big on the Spanish scene and the international scene and porn. Well, his recklessness and his not being able to think that he was able to go through life and have sex with anybody he want, because he's the guy, he's the best guy in the world, and he thought he was be able to go skate through life. Well, he got hit with the HIV, and now he doesn't know what to do. I mean, I don't want to laugh. I don't want to laugh. But when these guys get hit with this, hit with reality, it's it's insane how they never prepare for it. It's insane how they just, they never really like understand that they can be vulnerable and they can be hit with something. So like they can be hit with something just like everybody else, but they really think that they can actually like skate through life without ever living through no consequences. So they play with life and death. And soon as they lose, they don't have anything else to do other than feel sorry for themselves. So they ain't the only one who moan and groan about things, but they get the rewards first, and then they get the results later on. And he just got his reward for playing with life. He got his reward for playing with with life. He played with his life, and he thought he can he thought he can keep doing what he's doing, and I think he's 50 years old, so he should have been a little bit smarter than that. But well, he caught it, and he lost. So when you see these guys out here getting all the women and stuff like that, I say this right now, and I'll tell you this right now, is every time they get women, every time women moan and groan to them, every time that they think that they are gods, it makes them drop their guard. And little bit by little bit, they drop their guard, and they start losing the ability to analyze situations. And eventually they lose the battle. Because once you drop your guard in life, you are open to many different things that will hurt you, put you in jail, or wipe away your life altogether. And these guys think that just because they're at the top of the sexual market, that they can do anything they want. They can tell you, they can laugh at you, they can do all this stuff, and they think that the women who give them the most satisfaction and give them the rank won't take it away from them. And they always wrong, because the women who gave them the rank will give them something devastating, which is what he got, HIV. And you can always learn lessons from things like this right here, so you don't make the mistake. And also, you can watch your back with some of these women, because most of these women share the same type of man, and most of these women get it from the men, get HIV or any type of STDs from guys who get all the women. So one more. So this is a porn star. This is an article back in the day, like 2012. Christina Rose, she was in a porn game, and then she finally like flipped out and said she don't want to be a part of it at all. She worked behind the scenes. But what this article said is that she addressed it, how the men in porn act, and how, most of them act like divas, and they got egos and all this other stuff. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, this is insane right now. Like, she dropped a lot of knowledge on the inner workings of like how they react, how they are. And little bit by little bit in this video, it shows you she was absolutely right about them all together. This is, it shows you right there right away that how half of them really have egos. All you have to do is ask the females that work in the industry with them. Do it low key. Don't try to do it like, prying some kind of stuff. But these are the sexual kings. These are the reality of what the sexual kings really are. Their lifestyles, what they do, how they view women. Even if they get women, it's a lot of things behind them. They deal with depressions and all type of stuff. And talking about that, because I saved them up, because I'm gonna delete this sooner or later. So let's see. Rico Strong. I talked about him in the last video, and he pretty much saying he going through pain and depression and all this other stuff, and how, I told you that he got Me Too'd. So he expressed his feelings into his Instagram post, and the women were biting a little bit from it, but the men, as you see, was not having it. And they was saying things like what you would say to a man who has Brad Pitt looks and the biggest penis, and he could satisfy a whole bunch of women. Why are you mad? Why are you complaining about shit? And here we go. If you see it right now, if I'm moving too fast, you can just pause the video and read it. I can't believe this nigga complaining after all the white holes you donned, fucked on camera. I guess life is weird. Fuck that mean, nigga. Pussy don't mean make life better. White pussy don't have any power from others. Life is life. Fucking don't define it. Wise up, my nigga. Well. Let's get that comment. So a sexual king told you right away, right here, right now. You heard it from you seen it from his typing. He said pussy don't mean nothing. Guess what? That just exposed these guys on the black manosphere, these YouTube people, because he a guy who get more pussy than any of these guys. He's a porn star. He get it outside and on the camera. He said straight away, he finally realized that shit doesn't mean nothing. I take his word for it than anybody on YouTube, because he knows the life. Go to experts. Don't go to people that don't have any proof of them getting any women. He said it right then and there. Now we're gonna move along on other ones. Seriously, you get to have unprotected sex with beautiful women for a living, and that itself is a reason to smile every day. Small-minded. People just calling them out. It ain't easy. All outside would never know and understand. Ain't shit. He about this life or a game. You right about that, but why do I have to? You made your bed, nigga. Don't. I remember that comment. He said, real niggas don't cry or complain when shit get difficult. You wouldn't know if they are a real nigga. You made your bed. Basically told him, like, you made your bed sleeping in, nigga. Like, you get pussy all the time, nigga. The half of the people out here don't get no pussy. So why are you sitting there complaining, acting like a little bitch? Hey, man. Shit is funny, man. He said, seriously, my fault. You definitely right about getting money. Yeah, this what's it called? How you depressed and you have sex for a living? The garbage man should be depressed. The fry man at McDonald's should be depressed. But the fat guy who mops up the freak show depressed? Pussy don't entertain or complete a real nigga. It's more to life than that. Told you, man. Some of these guys start realizing that once they get to the 50th girl, that shit not worth it. But this shows you, man. Okay, that was the last one. I'm sorry to repeat myself from the old thing, but in conclusion, that if you want to know the mindset of men who get a lot of women, and the dark side of the sexual kings and women. You ever see women say, you know, he's fine, he's look good, and this and that, or he has a big penis, or this and that, or he fucks real good and all this other stuff. Just realize that you're on the opposite side of that. You don't have to rely on the women out here. These guys do. This is why they make you feel like that you need to be just like them, even though you can't compete with them. They want to sell you a dream of competing with them. The women who have sex with these guys show themselves to be what they are, thoughts and whores. And it shows them to be opportunists. It shows them to be junkies of chaos, junkies of sexual whatever. I can't make up the word right now, but these men that I showed you in all the videos and all the, you know, scenarios, once these women were done with them, they left them in the dark and the cold. But they don't see women's true colors. The only difference between the guys who don't get women and the guys who do get women is that the guys who do get women don't see the true colors of women until it's too late, or they see the true colors of women at their own destruction. The guys who don't get women usually just are watching the show, and they can see the dangers of some of these guys' mentality and some of the things that these people say, and some of the things that these people do after the fact, after they had their fun. We know about the wall, we know about red pill, we see the results of these women trying to do alpha fucks, beta bucks. But the real let's see, I'm trying to find the word. The real way you can observe the highest level of the sexual revolution is watching people who are in porn and watch them when they get out of porn. These are the sexual kings that you need to pay attention to in order to know that it ain't all that cracked up. It ain't all what it's cracked up to be when it's all this sex and stuff. That this is the dark side of the sexual kings. I feel like I was saying the same thing over and over again, but because I'm thinking about something else and I'm about to drop another video because it's gonna be a good one. So I'm thinking about that. So if it does seem like it's messed up or whatever, you get the point. I'm trying to show you the scenarios and stuff like that. It's time for people to get smarter. Stop going towards, you know, certain people that seem like they can get women, and go to the people that do get women, and pay attention to their social media, because social media is a good window into towards it's a good window towards people who other people think have a better life than they do, and you can always exceed the downside of their lives. So yeah, man. Let me get to this next video.